and my topic today is basically talking about exploring the intersection of low-income housing programs, PPR, and their environment in Malaysia, a quantitative analysis of the residents' experiential values and also quality of life. All right, now despite Malaysia's rapid economic growth and also the successful rehoming initiatives, the group with low income and also urban poor quality of life remains a source of worrying, especially in the B40 category residents, right? So here, basically, the impact of housing environment is one of the many contributing elements in which we are looking into the people's quality of life standards, right? And nearly 5 decades since the Malaysian government has already introduced the People's Housing Program in order to provide affordable homes for low-income earners, but the quality of life of the community remains a major concern, right? So the problem statements of the study is basically to look into the PPR housing and also what are some of the issues or problems such as overcrowding issues, congesting buildings, limited space of recreational areas, lack of infrastructure, drainage and also sewage system problems, and also lack of security system, right? And the research objective of the study is basically to analyze the impact of PPR environment towards the residents' experiential values and also how it affects their quality of life. And in this study also, we would like to serve as a foundation for improving the performance of PPR in Malaysia and also the quality of life of its B40 category residents. Right, and we have several literature reviews that we have looked into, and when we talk about quality of life, okay, this is basically concerning the health, the individual's well-being, the quality of the public service, or general satisfaction in terms of cognitive states. And there are very few housing programs that is in track with the quality of life as an outcome that can be used in order to tailor the service provision, right? And at the same time, there is a gap remaining in understanding what matters the most in emerging and when we look into the People's Housing Program and also the B40 residents, this is basically a program initiated by the Malaysian government in order to provide income earners under the B40 category to find a comfortable home throughout the nation. And under the local government development minister is committed to enhance the PPR livability by 5 key principles, which is accessibility, livability, connectivity, decent community, and also sustainability features in order to satisfy the present and also future requirements. Right, when we talk about the quality of life and also housing environment, the quality of the environment is not just focused on the personal space, but also includes the development of the external environment and also the public space, right? And quality of life is influenced by the living environment, which affects the well-being, the feelings, the emotions, the mood, and the productivity of the residents. Hence, we came up with the hypothesis that the PPR environment has a significant influence on the quality of life of the residents. Right. Moving on towards the housing environment and also experiential values, a study by Han and Kwan has referred experiential values as the value derived from a subject's experience of interacting with a product or a service. And in a highly dense domestic setting, Chowdhury and also Doloy has suggested that the architectural design and also decision-making process should consider and incorporate the domestic experience of the occupants. So based on the discussion, the following hypothesis is conjectures. All right, looking into the expression values on quality of life, several researchers have come out that people value and experience is related to the product or service provided by other people and also services. People and system, and in the context of housing elements, the relationship between the family, social environment, community, facilities environment, neighborhood physical environment, domains produce the residents' experience. And Ricci argued that the factors such as landscape, past experiences, personality traits, sensory associations impact an individual's response towards the environmental stimuli. And lastly, Mobinova and also Gokul in 2023 suggested that architects should design space and building environment that promotes well-being, improve performance and pleasant experience for the occupants. And this is basically the methodology that we use. The sample population that we have chosen is basically from the PPR residents in Malaysia from 5 main states, which are Johor Bahru, Kuala Lumpur, Kuantan, Pahang, Seberang Perai, Penang, and also Kota Kinabalu, Sabah. And we have done a cross-sectional design and also quantitative studies using questionnaire form. And we analyze the data using PLS, SEM. And the total sampling that we got was 704 respondents from 5 different states in Malaysia. Right. So this is basically the constructs that we use in order to look into the quality of life, the PPR environment, and also the experiential values. And we have done the reliability assessment, and this is the result, which is 0.85 for quality of life, 0.848 for PPR environment, and also 0.877 for experiential values. All right, and the findings and discussion, basically this is the result of the demographic characteristics. All right, we have 60.8% for female respondents, and most of them are 56.1% are below 40 years of age, and 63.8% are married, whereby 58% has a monthly income of less than 1,200 ringgit Malaysia. Right, so from the study that we have conducted, basically the tables looks into the quality of life, and overall the residents of the PPR are likely to have a positive well-being, and majority of them perceive that they like the neighborhood relations in their PPR, and they are also very comfortable with the PPR's home, which they regarded as nice. And the residents also indicate that the economic activity near the PPR is good, and they often hang out with neighbors in the PPR. So if we were to look into the quality of life based on the gender, we can see that the result shows that the quality of life between male and female residents differs, whereby the male residents perceive that the quality of life is higher compared to the female residents. And perhaps the biological and also environmental factors determine the daily life and also work roles in males and females, which further influence the quality of life. The different quality of life among the genders is consistent with the reported in the previous studies, which suggests that female gender was a significant independent correlate to poor quality of life. All right, so this is the PLS result that we got. And in the context of casual relationship, the results basically confirms that the relationship were highly significant, with the relationship between experiential values and also quality of life recorded the highest value, followed by the relationship between PPR environment and also quality of life. And thus the H1 and also H3 were supported. Further result depicts that the PPR environment has a high significant effect towards the experiential values, and this result supports the H2. So further, experiential values has relatively a higher influence on quality of life than PPR environment. So in this study, the role of experiential values is enhanced by the quality of life was further examined by looking at the mediating effect of experiential values in the relationship between PPR environment and also quality of life. And the table basically shows the findings that the indirect effect of experiential values construct on the relationship between PPR environment and also the quality of life. So the result depicts that the experiential values has a highly significant indirect effect on quality of life, indicating a mediating role of experiential values on the relationship between PPR and also quality of life. So due to the fact that both the direct and indirect effects are positive and on the same sign, this indicates that a complementary partial mediation of experiential values on the relationship. So as a conclusion, basically the purpose of the study was to identify whether experiential values mediate the relationship between PPR environment and also quality of life among the PPR communities in Malaysia. And since there is a study gap in the current literature whereby it evaluates the mediating effect of experiential values on residents' outcome from encountered based experience, and research have been studied the role on the experiential values in forming the encounter experience and also forming long-term outcomes in context of housings, as majority of studies adapted experiential values as mediating construct in the consumer behavior or tourist behavior context. So this will fill up a gap in the literature review, since McKinsey suggests that the residents' experience value must be taken into account to meet the residents' needs and also satisfy them and maintain the overall well-being. So this study basically suggests that the importance of PPR environment and also experiential values in enhancing the quality of life of low-income earners residents. Besides, the data analysis yields interesting results whereby experiential values alone can have a high substantial effect on quality of life and also as a mediator between PPR environment and also quality of life. So further, we hope that this study can also found that the PPR environment positively influenced the quality of life of PPR residents in Malaysia, and therefore it is time for the government to look into the private sector in providing a more livable environment towards the PPR housing. So collaboration with the private sectors needs to be strengthened through CSR activities such as provision of facilities, hence reduce the cost incurred by the government. So this is the references being used. That's all my presentation for today. Thank you.